right, so in this lesson, we're still working with shapes and coordinates. We have this time, we're going to be using all of the quadrants this time, all four. And we are going to be talking about symmetry within these shapes and the plots on the graph. So first, we are going to make our fourth shape together. These shapes should already be on your screen since we already did that. And now we're going to make the fourth shape. So we're going to make a diamond, and we're going to start by adding a point. Once you add a point, you can choose whatever color. I'm going to go with pink, and I'm going to go ahead and plot that here. So for everyone following along, I plotted my first point at 5, which is here, and then -2, which is here. So remember, the x-axis always comes first, and then the y-axis comes next. So our next point that we're going to plot, we're just going to go ahead and add point again, and then click on it and choose what color we want. I'm going to keep doing pink. And the next point that we're going to plot is 3, -5. So we're going to look at the x-axis, go over 3, down 5. And that's our next point. Then we're going to keep going. The next one is 5, 8, -8. So over 5, down to the negatives, 8. All right, so we're going to go ahead and make our last point, which will be this one, because we're only making a diamond, so there'll only be 4 points. And our last plot, our last point to plot will be 7, -5. So we're going to go over 7, -5. So we're going to go down 5. And here we are with our diamond. All right, to make this a shape, we're going to go ahead and add some lines so we can better see our shape. Uh-oh. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and change the color of that to match my shape. And then we're going to add another line because it just says add line here. And then when you click on it and move it to where you want, it'll be highlighted that you're using this line, and you can change the color. There are all these color choices for you. I'm still going to go with pink. And then we're going to add 2 more lines. And so now we have a diamond. And so I just wanted to go ahead and show you to fill in the inside of the shape, you would just click add area and click inside of it. And that's it. Get a new line, and we're going to make this line red so it stands out. So we know the color options here. And we're going to start with the square. So if I put a line here, and I end the line here, does this make the square symmetrical? Are they the same on both sides? Yes, they are. What if I put a line here and kept a line there? They're not symmetrical. So you want both halves of the shape to look the same. Could we cut this shape into a different way and it'd be symmetrical? Yes. We could cut it that way, we could cut it this way, we could cut it that way. There are different ways. Now we're going to look at what are the coordinate points to the end of our line that makes it symmetrical. So let's start down here, and we're going to look at the x-axis, and we're going to come all the way over here, and we see that it stops at -7. And so we're there. and we go up right to the end of the line, and we see that that meets at 3. So we know that coordinate point is -7, 3. And then next, for the end of our line that makes this symmetrical when cut in half would be, we're going to look at this point, and we see on the x-axis, we're going to go over -3, and we're going to go up 7. And that would be our second point of the line that makes it symmetrical. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys do the next 3 shapes, and you can cut them in any way you want, and we will share them as a class. All right, we're back, and I'm going to go ahead and go over how I cut my shapes in half to make them symmetrical, and then I will let some people, I will call on others to share what they got. So first, for the triangle, to cut this shape in half, I went top to bottom, and the first coordinate that I got was 5, 2. And the second coordinate that I got was 5, 9. So those are the points that the line is on to make the shape cut in half from start to finish. All right. So for the rectangle, from start to finish, our first point would be -9, -6, because here we are, -9, -6, and that's the beginning of our line. And then the end of our line would be -2 to -6. So that's what I did for my rectangle. And then lastly, for my diamond, the points that I plotted for the beginning and end of the line that makes it symmetrical would be the first one being 3, -5 for here. And then the end of my line, which is here, would be 7, -5. All right, so now to call on some students to share what they got.